Hello and welcome to the India Today Conclave, Mumbai. Every time this name, the name of Vijay Varma, Jaideep Ahlawat, Sujoy Ghosh is taken, there is so much excitement in the audience. There is excitement to see what next do you guys have to offer. Like chameleons, what roles are you going to get into? I have to start by asking you, unlikely heroes, you both have proven that. Vijay, do you think that the definition of heroes has changed and evolved? In today's day and age, how would you describe a hero?
I think we had all kinds of heroes ever since the movies have been making. I don't think we've redefined it. It's just that, when I went to the film school, I found a different kind of heroes. I grew up on a staple diet of either Hollywood actioner with my father. Then I went to the film school. I discovered, and I'd seen enough Bollywood movies when I was growing up. And then I went to the film school. I saw movies by Mr. Shyam Benegal, Mr. Govind Nihalani, Sai Paranjpe, and so on. And I found a great treasure and a very new perspective and a new way of looking at cinema. So I feel like we had all kinds of heroes all along. It's just that with OTT platforms, there's a torch being put on our faces now.
Oh, there's a spotlight for sure. Jaideep, not a lot of people in the audience know this, but you and Vijay, obviously, you have a history, you have a past, you are both from FTII. When you see success, you see shows that are super hit, films that are super hit, you get papped when you go outside. You can't do normal things like you used to do before. What's the one memory from those FTII days you wish you could relive with him again?
I think we still relive many moments together. We still are in very much touch. We play cards and meet almost regularly. But in FTI days, I would say that they used to be very interesting. Vijay was staying in A block and I was in the C block, and they are opposite each other. And the bathrooms are like ground floor and the first floor. So we used to shout Hasil's dialogues. Him from that bathroom. And
like what would it sound like if you had to recreate that moment?
Sorry? all the dialogues. No, Ranbija! Like that kind of thing. But that was amazing. Yeah.
Sujoy, the film has top charts. I was just telling you congratulations. And I know how little you speak and how humble you are when somebody comes and tells you, yeah, your film is #1, it's trending or it's getting all these rave reviews. You in your own way will try to underplay it. But I want to ask you, after so many years, I've known you for the longest time, for years and years. What is it in you that has kept you going, that has made you hungry for sort of taking up work, becoming selfish about that work and wanting it to go out in the audience?
I think it's the audience. I think the way audience has been changing, the way audience has been accepting of the new story that we are trying to say. I think that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps most of us going, the hunger to tell a new story, to create new characters. Like you were asking, what is a hero? Right now, when we had heroes, when we were growing up, they were very black and white. Heroes can only do good. Now heroes can do bad. So, it's just that acceptance and that allowance of audience which keeps us going. The more you want to see, the more we will work hard to make you see.
Sujoy made a very good point right now about, you touched a little bit about the vanity part of acting and the industry and the norms that perhaps the industry has set up. And here we have two people on the panel, fantastic actors. It doesn't matter what they do with their faces, what prosthetics they put on, what age group they play, whether it's dark, gray, white, blue, you name any character. Jaideep, I want to speak to you about that vanity part, is when you would do auditions or when you would get called for them or when you were hungry chasing for work, and that vanity part came in and they said that, ye banda to acting bahut sahi kar raha hai, lekin perhaps he doesn't look like the actor. He doesn't look like a main lead. Do you remember those days? And you want to share that experience?
Yeah, I remember those days, but I think there's no need to, for actors who are coming, for actors who are aspiring acting. I don't think they should be, feel bad about it. Because I personally feel that if you are being rejected also, most of the time it's because you are not the character. They are not rejecting you as an actor, maybe. But शुरुआती दौर में मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब हम शहर में आए तो आपको लगता है कि यार मैं कर सकता हूं पर ये लोग शायद देख नहीं पा रहे हैं. बट वो उनकी गलती नहीं है. मैं कहीं बहुत गहरे में तो क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो उनसे बात कर रहे हैं उस काम के लिए, उस बात के पार्ट लेने के लिए. बट दैट्स पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ. यू साइन फॉर इट. It's okay to be rejected. That's fine because I'm sure it makes you much better person. Handling rejections is an art, to be very honest. So it's good. It's okay.
Yeah, that's a part of all our lives. And Vijay, do you still have women who come up to you? Because I know on social media you're very active when somebody says that, yaar, I have to be away from this guy because I don't know what's the next thing he's going to do to anybody in the family. You know, you've sort of epitomized that gray underlining. You don't know what's he going to do next. Is there a genre or a role that you're hungry for right now that could be comedy, for example? Let's try and do that. Is there a genre or a character?
Yeah, I really am quite desperate to do a comedy because I think it'll be change of pace for me. I think, you know, I want to try at least and maybe fail miserably, but I want to give it a shot because it's I'm a big watcher of comedies. I watch a lot of stand-up comedians. I like the way, you know, they make stories and small anecdotes turned into great insights into humor. So let's see.
You want to give it a shot, and I think the India Today Conclave could be the best place ever because everybody is watching. If I had to quickly give you a character, a comic character, a guy who forgets what he says every 3 seconds. He says a line and then he forgets what he said before. If you had to audition for it, Vijay, and your take is lights, camera, action.
I'm done past the audition days, guys. Sorry.
I wouldn't say audition, but say there's a producer or a director watching this right now and, you know, just could be any part.
Okay, so you know, a lot of people have been asking on the social media and everywhere after watching Jaane Jaan ki body kahan hai. So I'm going to tell you. So this morning when I woke up, sorry, what was I speaking? What was the question?
That's Vijay Varma for you guys. It doesn't get more versatile than that. Similarly, like he said this, Jaideep, I want to sort of recreate and put you in a tight spot and become a producer for a second. Okay? I have met many producers in my life and interviewed them. I want to give you a Ghisa-Pita dialogue, and I know Sujay is already grinning and smiling at me. I want to give you a very Ghisa-Pita dialogue of producers which says that, एक्टिंग तो आपने बहुत अच्छी कर ली यार, हमने आपकी पहली फिल्म भी देखी थी, क्या एक्टिंग करी थी, 4 स्टार रिव्यूज मिले थे, आपको अवार्ड भी मिला था, लेकिन हम पैसे नहीं दे पाएंगे आपको बॉस, वो आप थोड़ा ना उसमें थोड़ा कट शॉर्ट कर लो. व्हाट वुड योर रिस्पॉन्स टू हिम बी? एंड अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोड्यूसर्स आर वाचिंग दिस.
फिल्म इंस्टीट्यूट के दिनों में एक बहुत अच्छी बात हम करते थे. एक कहावत थी कि या तो काम अच्छा दो या पैसे अच्छे दो. तो अगर पैसे कम है तो काम बढ़िया दे दो. I'll handle the money.
That answer in itself says it a lot. Sujoy, you know, you've worked with so many people. Sorry?
I thought you were going to give me one of these tasks also.
No. If you're asking for it, then there's a task for you.
Thank you.
I can put you on that spot.
Do the dialogues, yeah.
I think he wants to break into a little dance.
Yeah, I know he's good at that. But Sujoy, talk to me about the fact that, do you feel that whole, you know, films are working, people are back in theaters.
Yeah.
It's one of the bestest times for the industry. Whether it's OTT or theaters, audience is back in a very big way. When that narrative of, theaters, I mean, industry is shutting down, films are not working, pitting a region against another was going on, what was going in your mind? What were you going through in that phase?
You know, I wasn't really, I was more worried about the other side, you know. Oh, sorry, the mic. Oh. I was more worried about what's happening otherwise, more than the films in terms of COVID and all the other issues that were happening. So that, to me, felt like a very natural reaction to what was going on in our lives. You know, people not going into the halls, people not going into malls, people not doing a lot of public activities. So वो ठीक था, and it took a while to get back. I never lost faith, actually. I'm just me. I could be wrong, but it didn't scare me that much. OTT was there, yes. We were definitely looking at new content. You know, it gave us a lot of scope of looking at various different contents across the world. But film was always there, you know, film was always in the back of the mind. So it didn't really bother me that much, personally.
You know, Kareena in a recent interview said that Saif told her that, you know, she has to be on her toes because she has to work with Vijay and Jaideep. And coming from a Kareena, I mean, she's a superstar. When you get to be in a frame with her, or when she walks into the room, she spells superstardom. What do you make of that comment of hers? I mean, that says a lot, right? Vijay, you want to take it?
I mean, yeah, when she spoke about this a few times, and me and Jaideep would get so embarrassed because, you know, here's a person, an actress who we grew up watching on the big screen, and you know, we had our own wide-eyed, you know, staring at her and do marvelous things. And when somebody like that speaks so highly of you and many times, so we got really embarrassed and we didn't know what to do. We just look down, we look here, we look there. We just, but I think I would like to thank Saif because had Saif not told her about us, I don't think she would have known.
Yeah, Bebo perhaps would have stayed living under a rock and been on Instagram. That's all for you. But Jaideep, given the fact that, you know, versatility is a tag that you often get attached with, and it's loosely used, oh, he's a versatile actor. But tell me, is there a certain myth about yourself that you want to perhaps break, that you feel that has come on to you unknowingly? That there is this myth about Jaideep Ahlawat, the persona, the figure. And if you were asked that there's one myth that you would like to break today, what would it be?
I don't know. मुझे लगता है लोगों ने बहुत सीरियस आदमी समझ लिया मुझे. उनको लगता है कि बहुत ही ज़्यादा टेंस रहता हुआ सारा दिन. मुझे लगता है रोल भी ऐसे दे दिए कि आप पहचान नहीं पाते बहुत सारे लोग कि अच्छा आपने वो मेकअप वाला था. बट आई एम श्योर जैसे विजय ने कहा कि I would like to see myself in an out-and-out comedy, which is very difficult, but it depends on a very good script also and a very good director.
I want to play a Hindi news reporter, like the one that creates the set inside the studio. कि यहाँ पर बाढ़ आ गई है और helicopter में हम लोग जा रहे हैं. I would like to do a character like that.
Either out-and-out action film. We would love to do that.
So Joy, there's a checklist right now for you for the variety of roles that these guys want to play. I think you should just sort of sign them on as you leave.
Yeah. I mean, they're already signed on. I'm not part of that producer clan if I just
उसमें पैसे कम थे, काम अच्छा है.
No, but on a serious note, when you come off a Jaane Jaan, I mean, it's trending worldwide. It's sort of become a huge success. You know, one of the biggest shows for Netflix. How do you maneuver from there? Success is one thing that sometimes gets tricky to deal with because then that becomes a parameter for your next. If things don't work, then when you take on the next film or a project, then you do that well and then you're like, oh, okay, this was better than the first. How has definition of success changed for the both of you? Has it changed? How do you look at success?
I really don't understand it. I just have this feeling that, you know, when you do something, when you take certain choices, sometimes they are risky choices. For that matter, the role that I did in Darlings, which was a very abusive husband in a very toxic marriage. And in The Hard, where I'm playing a serial killer, these were very tough choices to make for an actor because, you know, the impression can be very strong in the audience's mind and the trade and the media and the producers and the directors could be extremely harsh in choosing me next time, you know. But when they connect and when you find an audience, when you take a choice, when you actually, you know, audience finds you and they like you for what you did, it just gives you a lot of confidence in believing in yourself that, you know, some part of you, you know, you put your bet on it and it worked. So right now, for me, success feels like, you know, some kind of an intuition that works for you and it connects. So that's the feeling I am living with right now. So I'm in the thick of things. I'm feeling most creative right now. And it feels amazing because there's enough money in the bank and I can afford to take a few months off.
Oh, more than a few months off, I reckon. You know, Vijay also has a very interesting social media relation with his fans. His social media pages are hilarious. I mean, you just take on people when they write something to you, and it's you who's tweeting or it's you who's putting those Instagram posts. I want to speak to you both a bit about the whole paparazzi culture and how everybody's dealing with it right now. I know Vijay recently had this, sort of an encounter with a pap where things got a little awkward. Jaideep and Sujoy, you somehow managed to stay under the radar when it comes to getting papped. How have you managed that, Jaideep? Do you not step out of the house, or what is it?
No, if you don't want to do it, they will never bother you. I think we make them be at some place to be clicked. And if I genuinely don't want to be seen, it's my choice, basically. But having said that, I don't think we should run away from that, because that's a thing we always wanted. I personally feel very, not so comfortable when people are around. This is the hardest part, I'm saying, sitting on this stage and talking about films. This is the hardest part of my life, being an actor. I feel so alive in front of camera when I'm working. Other than that, I'm very, I'm home all the time, basically, or either playing cards with FTI friends. So, of course, people around me, friends and actors, co-actors, they always say, yeah, do something about this, do more PR. I try, but I fail every time.
I think I was doing fairly good on my own. I think the PAP situation kind of escalated a bit as soon as I started seeing Tamanna. That's when the PAPs lost their minds. And I couldn't control it. And there were times they came right at my doorstep, and nobody came to my building before that. And I walked up to my building and I said, do not ever come back. I live in this isolated part of Andheri that nobody should know where I live, and don't go tell your friends where I stay. And I don't want you outside my house. So, yeah.
But you know what's interesting is how you both have navigated that, like sort of a public relationship now. You both are so popular. You both are seen at public events. You both are spotted in the city and all about. Yet the Paps and you sort of have that equation that perhaps they know where to draw the line. Is that something you both discussed, that how should we navigate our relationship?
It's just not with Paps. It's with people. Like I like to have my boundaries with people, and they're not my friends. I mean, I like them. I don't mind them. And they like me. And it's a work relationship as well. But I don't want them to ask me personal questions. Who are they? They're not journalists, right? So, and even journalists aren't allowed to ask too many personal questions. Yeah, I mean, it's an equation that I share with people, generally. And I really enjoy them because they're a lot of fun. Have you seen that thing at NMC, at the Ambani?
Yes.
It was pure joy for 3 days, just listening to them.
Absolutely. Sujoy, do you get bored of getting asked this question of Kahani, and when will the next Kahani drop, and what will happen in the Kahani universe? I mean, that's a film and a character and a premise that definitely is not going to leave you ever. And you have sort of done spin-offs, and you are perhaps creating more stories with that. Jaideep has something to say.
Yeah, Jaideep can answer this.
No,
Hey,
you have two actors right here.
No, I never get bored of this. I love Kahani. I mean, I owe a lot to that film. A lot of me is that film. And yes, whenever we have a script, we will go ahead with the next installment of Kahani.
And we have Jaideep nodding his head vigorously. Is that a sign? Is that a cue?
Yeah, they'll all be there.
I will also nod my head if that's the cue.
They'll all be there, yeah.
Okay, so that's almost we'll take it as a casting announcement. We love taking these things as announcements. Sujoy, what are your favorite films to sort of, what are your favorite films that you indulge in? I mean, you sort of created a signature genre in your own space, right? Cliffhanger, and then there'll be a twist somewhere, or it'll be dark in some spaces. Is there anything that you've watched of late that has sort of impressed you?
Oh, I loved Rocky and Rani.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you told Karan that?
Huh?
Have you told Karan Johar that?
Yes. And I love Jawan. I love Pathan. Yeah, so I love any films, which keeps me invested for 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. So, yeah.
I enjoyed Jawan as well. It was wild. It was so good. And fun fact, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan enjoyed Janeja as well. He called us, he called me, and then he called Jaideep. And he's spoken to Sujoy sir as well. He
He
congratulated
took,
us on
took your numbers from me.
Yeah, that was the moment. He called me and he said, अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा busy नहीं हैं तो थोड़ी सी बात करनी, शाहरुख बोल रहा हूँ. मैंने उनको कहा, अगर मुझे हार्ट अटैक आया तो इसके जिम्मेदार आप होंगे.
But we have to speak about Jawan and Shah Rukh, and just the fact that magic on screen, we are living in a world that is all about the magic of Shah Rukh Khan, the reason why we make movies, why we love movies. Do you both have any favorite Shah Rukh Khan memory or a Shah Rukh Khan story to tell? We would love to hear. Vijay?
I think we are living in his phase, like we are living in Shah Rukh's shadow. Everything about this incredible man is so inspiring in so many ways. He set a benchmark right now, which only he can cross. You know, as a person, as an actor, as a personality, as a star. And I think I've had, you know, I can like count every opportunity, every time I've met him. It's so significant, even if it is a 5-second meeting or a 10-second handshake or whatever it is. You remember, you know, your times with him. He's one of those people that he touches your heart. You know, that's the thing.
Jaideep, do you have a favorite Shah Rukh film that you binge watch, or perhaps you would give your arm and leg to ever be a part of if you had to go back in time?
So many films. While we were growing up, the Bazigar, DDLJ were the huge hits, like madness. But I'm fortunate enough working with him for a very small part in Raees. And it just happened. Somebody else was casted for that role and something happened. And then on the 11th hour, I was finalized 11:30 in the night and subah 7 baje call type tha. So I worked with him for like next 4 days. And it was most amazing experience. I always say working with Shah Rukh Khan is, you can't describe it. You have to experience it, as simple as that. The way he treats you, the way he talks to you and make you so important, it's mesmerizing. And then he remembers everything, like Vijay said, he remembers every single thing. The day he called me, he was talking about Raees. The first day that's the only time I got starstruck. I was the first scene with him and I was looking at him and I was slow because I became an audience during the scene and I'm watching Shah Rukh Khan playing a character. So I'm 5 seconds, 7 seconds delayed of my reactions. And then somehow the director said that everything is fine, but the scene is, you know, is going down. You have to pace it up. And King Khan understood that. And he knew that I was nervous. So he just settled everyone. 5 minutes ka break lete. 15 minutes, he was talking about random things. And those 15 minutes became, like, for me, it's like, saans aaya, jisko kehte na.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, but that we are living in the love universe of Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, we can't sort of reinstate that word. Sujoy, whether it's Kareena in Janeja or whether it's Vidya in Kahani, you have a knack of offering actresses or female actors the bang for their buck. You just write it so really well. Is there an actor on your sort of in your radar or in the vicinity that you haven't worked with, a female actor that you are sort of raving to work with?
Can't think any offhand, but you know, all the new breed of actors are very exciting. You know, whether you look at a Kriti or whether you look at a Kiara, they're all very exciting to work with. Even, I mean, I would love to work with Alia. I would love to work with Deepika. But again, you need the right script. You know, so yeah, if given a script, would love to work with all of them.
Absolutely. On that note, I would say congratulations again on Janeja. We are hungry for more work from you guys. We look up to it every time there's a release from all of these names on this panel. Thank you for the movies and thank you for all the shows. And congratulations on the success. Thank you very much. A big round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.